After the age of 70, many people believe that more medical tests automatically mean better protection. I used to think the same way. Routine checkups feel reassuring. You show up, get scanned, get tested, and leave believing you've done something responsible for your health. But here's something most older adults are never told clearly. Some medical checkups, especially later in life, can quietly cause more problems than they prevent. New research suggests that a significant number of tests done in adults over 70 lead to unnecessary treatments, ongoing side effects, or a long chain of follow-up procedures that never needed to happen in the first place. And what's surprising is that most seniors are never warned about this possibility. Today, I want to walk you through 5 common health checkups that deserve a second thought after 70. Not because medicine is bad, but because medicine works best when it's used carefully and with context. This isn't about fear. It's about understanding what's truly helpful for your body at this stage of life. And we'll start with a test that sounds completely harmless. Checkup number 5. Bone density scans. A bone density scan looks simple. It's quick, painless, and often described as a responsible step for preventing fractures. But after 70, this scan can sometimes create more worry than value. Bone density naturally decreases with age. That doesn't automatically mean your bones are fragile or that you're on the verge of breaking something. Yet many scan results come back labeled as low density, even when there's no immediate danger. What often happens next is the real issue. People are started on medications meant to strengthen bones, even when their fracture risk is low. These medications may sound helpful, but for some older adults they can bring digestive discomfort, throat irritation, jaw problems, or unusual bone stress over time. Research following older women has shown that treating mild bone loss with medication leads to very small changes in actual fracture risk. Meanwhile, side effects are far more common. I once worked with a woman in her mid-70s who stayed active, walked daily, and had never experienced a fall. After a scan showed mild bone thinning, she was placed on medication right away. Within months, she began experiencing severe discomfort that interfered with her daily life. When her care plan shifted toward strength training, balance work, adequate vitamin D, and nutrition, her confidence and mobility improved without medication. For many people over 70 who aren't falling or breaking bones, focusing on movement, balance, and nutrition may be far more protective than reacting to a number on a scan. A test should guide you, not scare you. And the next checkup on this list can create even deeper anxiety. Checkup. Number 4. Brain MRI for mild memory changes. Forgetting names occasionally, misplacing keys, walking into a room and forgetting why. These moments can feel unsettling, especially later in life. So it's understandable that many people are quickly sent for a brain scan. But here's what's important to understand. Most brain scans in people over 70 show age-related changes that are completely expected. Small spots, mild shrinkage, or structural variations often don't explain everyday forgetfulness at all. Once these findings appear on a report, however, they can lead to fear, more testing, and sometimes invasive procedures that don't actually improve memory. Large reviews of brain imaging in older adults show that the vast majority of these findings are not linked to treatable conditions. Yet many people walk away believing something is seriously wrong. I remember a retired engineer in his 70s who became deeply anxious after an MRI report mentioned age-related changes. His daily life shrank. He stopped social activities. His confidence dropped. When his memory was evaluated using simple cognitive testing instead of scans, his results were completely normal for his age. Once he understood that the scan findings were expected, his confidence returned and his memory stabilized. In many cases, mild memory changes respond better to sleep quality, hydration, social interaction, and mental engagement than to imaging. A scan should answer a question, not create unnecessary fear. And now we come to a test that millions of seniors undergo every year. Checkup number 3. Cardiac stress tests without clear symptoms. Cardiac stress tests are often ordered when someone feels more tired than usual or not quite the same as before. The idea is to look for hidden heart problems, but after 70, these tests can sometimes point in the wrong direction. In older adults, stress tests frequently produce unclear or misleading results. This can lead to further procedures that carry real risks, even when serious heart disease isn't present. Research has shown that false alarms are common in this age group, and once a test raises concern, the next steps often include invasive imaging or procedures that don't always improve quality of life. I've seen cases where an active older adult mentioned mild fatigue, went through a stress test, and ended up in a long medical process that didn't actually address the real issue. Often, the original fatigue was related to sleep, hydration, or recovery time, rather than the heart itself. For people over 70 without classic warning signs during activity, gentler evaluation methods may be safer and more informative. Sometimes, slowing down the testing process is the healthier choice. Now we come to a checkup that surprises many people when they see it on this list. Checkup number 2, routine colonoscopy. After 70. For decades, colonoscopy has been presented as a gold standard of prevention, and earlier in life, it can be helpful. But after 70, and especially beyond 75, the balance between benefit and risk begins to change. The preparation alone can be very demanding on an older body. Strong laxatives can lead to dehydration, dizziness, and strain on the kidneys. The sedation used during the procedure may temporarily affect balance, attention, and memory in some seniors. And while the goal is to find and remove growths early, many of the findings in older adults are slow-changing and unlikely to cause harm during their lifetime. Large population studies have shown that in adults over 75, routine colonoscopies prevent very few serious outcomes, while a noticeable number of people experience complications that require hospitalization or extended recovery. I once met a woman in her early 70s who felt perfectly well and had already had normal results in the past. A repeat screening led to a small finding that triggered a complication afterward, leaving her weaker for months. What's important to know is that for many older adults, less invasive options exist. Simple stool-based tests done at home can often provide useful information without sedation or physical stress. This is a conversation worth having carefully. Screening should match your overall health, history, and comfort level, not follow a rigid schedule. And now we arrive at the final checkup on this list, the one that causes the most harm when used without a clear reason. Checkup number 1, full-body CT scans. Full-body scans are often marketed as peace of mind. The idea sounds appealing. Look at everything, catch problems early, and stay ahead. But here's the reality many people don't hear. These scans expose the body to a significant amount of radiation, and when used in people who feel well and have no specific symptoms, they often find things that were never going to cause harm. Small nodules, tiny spots, and age-related changes are common. But once they're seen, they can lead to more scans, biopsies, and procedures that create stress and physical risk. Research over the past few years has raised serious concerns about how often these scans lead to unnecessary follow-up without improving long-term outcomes. In older adults, the body is also slower to recover from invasive testing. I've seen active seniors go into these scans feeling confident, only to come out with weeks or months of worry over findings that turned out to be harmless. Major medical organizations are clear on this point. Full-body imaging should not be used as routine screening in people without symptoms. Targeted testing, when there's a clear reason, is a much safer approach. More testing doesn't always mean more protection. What this really comes down to modern medicine is powerful, but power needs precision. After 70, the goal shifts. It's no longer about finding every possible abnormality. It's about preserving independence, comfort, clarity, and quality of life. Before any test, it's reasonable to pause and ask a simple question. What happens next if this test finds something unclear? If the answer involves more procedures without clear benefit, it may be time to step back. Real prevention often comes from daily choices, staying active in ways that feel safe, eating nourishing foods, sleeping well, staying socially and mentally engaged, and choosing medical tests thoughtfully, not automatically. If this video helped you see health checkups differently, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever gone through a test that created more stress than reassurance? Or one that led to treatments you later questioned? Share your thoughts in the comments. Many others are quietly wondering the same thing. Thank you for spending this time with me.